Every married couple is, different in their own way, and they all have their own unique story. Now, for the next several minutes, I'm going to take you all on a journey through Jay and Becky's love story. You all know why we're here, but let's discover how today's celebration came to be. So sit back, buckle up, and enjoy this ride. Now, it all began at a small surprise party, actually for me, at Steve and Terry's backyard, Club Aragones. And this was at the end of 2008. Jay and Becky were there amongst other friends, and they had never met before. Now, this party was really nothing to brag about because it only lasted 2 hours because some of us got totally wasted. One of those victims was Steve, our officiant.
He was getting ready to open the house, so I brought him outside.
I took over from there helping Steve, and he threw up all over himself, and I go, I'm trying to change the pants. I'll change his shirt, but I won't change his pants.
So that was the first time that we met.
So that was their first meeting. Nothing happened, and they went on their separate ways after. Needless to say, the sight of thrown up lasagna and tequila didn't quite cause any sparks between the two. More than a year had passed when they found their way back to Club Aragones, this time for Terry's 40th birthday. They had already met before and knew of each other, but other than Becky grabbing some of Jay's freshly made chocolate cake shots, nothing really happened again. Becky danced the night away with her Diamond Girls crew, and Jay hung out and he DJ'd a little bit. It wasn't until towards the summer of 2011 when things would finally change. I had secured a gig as a resident DJ at Agave Restaurant and Bar on Friday nights. The word had spread and the crowds kept growing each week, and it soon became the regular Friday night hangout spot. Jay and Becky soon became regulars there. Week after week, they would dance together, drink together, and became more comfortable with each other.
I was flirty. I thought he was a cutie, but I didn't want to go there because I knew Maldo and knew Sherry, and I'm like, nah, if it doesn't work out, that's be awkward. But my mom was about to go into surgery for her quadruple bypass. And you're like, oh, everything's gonna be fine. I'm sorry to hear about your mom. I think that made me like, okay, I think I could go for it. I'll be ready. I'm throwing in the towel. I'm going in.
Now, Becky was definitely interested and had her sights on this Manny Pacquiao stud muffin. But did Jay feel the same way?
We've been flirting already. I even told Marcos, I was like, hey, what do you think of that girl over there? Marcos was like, oh, she's cute. And I was like, we've been talking a lot, and we've been dancing a lot. And Marcos was like, yeah, go for it, man.
Go for it, man. You sound like Deshaun Watson. Jay was still pretty shy and didn't quite pick up on the signs that Becky was flirting with him. He was still waiting for that obvious slap on the face sign that she's interested. Then a couple weeks passed.
So Terry had called me up one day and said, hey, what do you think of my friend Becky? I was like, oh, she's cute. So it kind of went from there. Sometimes you don't really know if they're into you or not, but then that gave me the acknowledgement that, okay, she must be asking Terry, or Terry's telling Becky something, so.
There's the sign. Now, this gave Jay the confidence boost he needed. That next Friday, it was on, and Jay had the eye of the tiger.
When she was wearing these jean miniskirt just to attract my attention even more that night, I said, ooh, all right.
He walked me to my car as we're talking, and then I finally got liquid courage and said, are you gonna kiss me already?
Yeah, and there you go. That's right, they put their first stamp on this relationship. For their first date, Jay took Becky to the Yard House restaurant. Yeah, I could have lied and said he took her to BJ's because, that's their initials, right? And would have made for a cuter story, but no. They went to the Yard House. They had a great dinner, learning more about each other, and then went to see a movie after and learn more about each other in that dark theater. Becky couldn't wait for the next date.
I had an extra ticket. I was supposed to take my cousin to go with me to the Sade concert. And then I'm like, I want to take him. So I asked him, he said yes. And then I broke the news to her, oh, you're not going after all. Sorry, I met someone.
She's still mad to this day about it.
Wow, that's messed up, right, Elsie? That's messed up. I'd be mad too. Well, throughout the next several years, their love for each other grew. Jay introduced Becky to the adventurous world of camping, and Becky took him to Texas to meet more of her family. They really couldn't go to too many places because of Raina, Becky's mom's health problems. And Jay was living with his sister's family at the time, and they were having serious talks of being together, but Jay was all about timing.
I told him, hey, we're gonna be together forever, right? This is it. And he said, yeah. And I'm like, well, why not just move in? My mom loves you, we could use a man in the house.
Soon enough, Becky's mom was spoiling Jay by making him breakfast and his favorite homemade flour tortillas. She never made that for Becky. For many years before Jay came around, Richard in Texas was Becky's mom's favorite. Richard was dethroned and demoted to number 2, with Jay taking the number 1 spot. For Jay, being a Detroit Lions fan, this counted as a Super Bowl win. Jay had known for a long time that he wanted to marry Becky, but just wanted to make sure everything was in line. He didn't want to propose and then have a long 5-year engagement. He wanted to propose and get married almost right away. Becky's mom was already calling him son-in-law. With the unpredictable nature of Jay's father's and Raina's health, it seemed to finally be the right time to finally pop the question. In January of 2022, Jay went out on his own to Eastridge Mall and bought an engagement ring and didn't tell anyone. And he did get jacked, so. Throughout the years, Jay and Becky had a tradition of going out to dinner for Valentine's, only they don't go on February 14th. They go a few days before or after to avoid the crowds on Valentine's Day. Jay did his research and knew he wanted to propose at the Crow's Nest, a restaurant in Santa Cruz. To throw Becky off, he asked her if she had any suggestions of where to go for dinner. She offered a few choices, but Jay eventually steered her back to agreeing on the Crow's Nest. Becky had no clue. It was Super Bowl weekend, and she was busy prepping food for JR's Super Bowl party. Besides, she gave up on ever expecting a proposal.
Every year I expected maybe this year, Valentine's Day, birthday, Christmas, nope. I'm like, it's just a normal Valentine's Day.
Then on February 12th, they headed to Santa Cruz. Jay had called to make reservations, but
the lady told me, well, we have this one real late, and then she tells me, well, just come earlier. I'm pretty sure we can get you seated. It's only 2 of you, so I was like, yeah, okay. So we ended up going a little bit earlier. When we first got there, we got there kind of a little early. So I go, let's take a walk to check out the beach, because I wanted to scope out the site on where I'm going to do it. So we walk out there first before we go into the restaurant, and I kind of looked around and said, okay, all right, I know where I'm going to do it. And then we go into the restaurant, and we have dinner. And so after, when we're leaving, well, let's go check out the beach again, see how it looks at night. So we go around the back.
Pitch dark,
Yeah,
no light at the beach church at all.
We walk along the back and right at the end by the coffee shop. So I get down on one knee, and that's when she turns around, and that's when I have the ring in my hand and everything like that.
He goes, it's about that time. And that's when he's, will you marry me? And I cried.
Yeah, she was so surprised.
I couldn't say the word yes, I just nodded.
Yeah.
Crying so much.
Now, Becky has seen her Dallas Cowboys win rings, but this is the ring that she always wanted.
First, I told my mom. She was happy, she was excited. I showed her the ring, I go, look. She goes, is that a dun 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 dun? I'm like, yeah. She goes, finally.
Jay shared the news with his sister Sherilyn and JR, and then JR had the honor of announcing it to everyone at the Super Bowl party the next day. And of course, a round of tequila shots followed right after, but Jay wasn't done yet.
A month after, we went to the cemetery to go see my dad. And that's when he told my dad that I'm gonna marry your daughter. He purposely wanted to go to the cemetery to do that. And that really, really touched me.
The plan was to get married soon. They planned an elopement in Monterey on May 21st, 2022, exactly 1 year ago. It was very small, intimate, and private.
Our officiant, the first thing he said, oh, you guys are short.
He was 7 foot tall.
7 foot
It made
tall.
all of us look like dwarfs.
With Marcos as best man, Terry as matron of honor, Steve as the photographer, and Eleanor as a witness, Jay and Becky were officially married under a beautiful sunny sky. Now I'd like to share with you Becky's thoughts of Jay.
Jay's the perfect guy for me because he mellows me out, he knows me, he accepts me. He's just like my dad, mellow, calm. Takes a lot to get him upset. He's just reminds me of my dad, and my dad was perfect.
And this is what Jay had to say about Becky.
Becky's the most perfect person for me because she is very caring and always wants to make sure that she's taking care of me without any effort. I mean, she loves to take care of me and I love to take care of her. We just think so much alike. Whatever I'm thinking, she's thinking exactly the same thing. For that, it's just, we're just so compatible with each other and we love each other so much. And I love her very much as well.
Today, May 20th, 2023, Jay and Becky are here with their dearest family and friends to laugh, to cry, to sing, to dance, and to celebrate their love. Once again, Mr. and Mrs. Carlett. So now we're gonna watch the basketball game. No, I'm sorry. We have a special video that we'd like to share with you all.